You just bought a diamond ring. You think you're holding one of the rarest objects on Earth. You were misled, not by the person who sold it to you, but by a four-word slogan, a slogan that changed the way the entire world thinks about love, marriage, and money. Four words. 75 years, and the world is still paying for it. Diamonds aren't rare, at least not in the way we've been led to believe. So why are they so expensive? Every year, hundreds of millions of carats of diamonds are mined around the world. Supply has never been the problem, because someone decided not to sell all of them. For decades, a single company controlled nearly the entire global diamond supply. They mined diamonds, keeping just enough on the market to keep prices high. The value of a diamond doesn't come from the stone itself. It comes from the feeling that you can't easily have one, and that company understood this from the very beginning. Because the real value of a diamond was never underground. It was in the mind of the buyer. That company was De Beers. Founded in 1888 by Cecil Rhodes, a British man who came to South Africa looking for fortune and found something far bigger: the opportunity to control the entire global diamond market. Rhodes didn't just mine diamonds, he bought the mines around him, then the mines further away, then negotiated with competitors and or eliminated them. By the end of the 19th century, De Beers controlled roughly 90% of the world's diamond production. When you control nearly the entire supply, you can set the price of an entire market. They understood that very well. They didn't sell diamonds on the open market. They only sold to a small, carefully selected group of buyers. The price was set by De Beers. Accept De Beers' terms or walk away. And whenever supply from other sources suddenly increased, De Beers bought it up, not to resell, to put in storage. Diamonds were just the product. What De Beers was actually selling was scarcity. By this point, De Beers had the supply locked down, but they had a bigger problem. Nobody actually needed diamonds. Not food, not medicine, not fuel. Diamonds had no essential function in the daily life of an ordinary person. And before the 1940s, diamond engagement rings were something only the ultra-wealthy bought, not a cultural expectation for everyone else. De Beers needed to change that. In 1947, they hired an advertising agency called N.W. Ayer with a single mission: make the entire world believe that diamonds and love were the same thing. N.W. Ayer did it in four words: a diamond is forever. Before that slogan, diamond engagement rings were a luxury for the few. After that slogan, more and more people came to believe that a real proposal needed a diamond. But this wasn't just an advertising campaign. De Beers put diamonds on Hollywood stars. The campaign reached newspapers, films, and media aimed directly at young people. They weren't selling a product. They were engineering a culture. And here's the part that was genuinely brilliant. A diamond is forever didn't just evoke eternal love. It quietly suggested that you should never sell your diamond back. Because love has no price. Because diamonds are forever. One slogan. That didn't create a single new diamond, but created millions of reasons for people to willingly buy one. But no system lasts forever. In the late 20th century, the world learned about blood diamonds, stones mined in conflict zones across Africa, used to fund civil wars and armed groups. For the first time, people started asking a question: where did this stone actually come from? But that wasn't the biggest threat. The biggest threat came from a laboratory. Scientists figured out how to create diamonds, not find them, create them. Chemically, optically, and physically identical to natural diamonds. No jeweler's loupe can tell the difference. No standard equipment can detect it. Identical. 80% cheaper. No mines needed. No De Beers needed. The entire system De Beers had spent over a century building rested on a single belief: natural diamonds are special, rare, and irreplaceable. And now someone was making the exact same thing in a lab. In 2018, De Beers launched their own lab-grown diamond brand, called Lightbox. The company that had just spent decades telling the world natural diamonds were irreplaceable eventually had to enter the lab-grown diamond market themselves. Carbon is still just carbon. Whether it forms underground over millions of years or inside a laboratory, chemically it's the same material. The only thing that ever changed was the story people told about it. For over a century, De Beers didn't sell stones. They sold an idea. That love has to be proven, and that proof should be measured in a diamond. That idea is still out there, but the stone is no longer rare, and perhaps the most expensive thing De Beers ever sold was never the diamond. It was the belief that a stone could measure love.